Are you ready to laugh? Are you ready to cry? Or did you just come for a turkey on rye? In the middle of a deli there in New York City, it's the In the Aisle podcast. Dan and Jack sit in the middle of a New York deli. Here's the In the Aisle podcast.
Sitting between Aunt Jemima and Peter Pan creamy peanut butter and one of our guests' open cherry colas, it's another episode of In the Aisle with Dan and Jack. Hi, Jack.
Hi, how you doing?
We're joined by two guests this time in the aisle sitting on the floor with us.
Very
exciting. We are indeed on the floor. We're sitting with one very special, two very special. I was going to say Diego.
no, a little more special.
Me and Diego.
Why are you more special?
Because we ran a podcast together. That's the voice
of
of
his home in New Jersey.
Okay, but I'm cool.
Yeah, Mike's more special to me.
Thank you.
That's the first voice was Diego Lopez.
Hi, hello everyone.
The Middle Easy Fight Fist podcast fame.
Gang,
where everyone knows us from.
Famous.
We used to run a podcast about mixed martial arts together, and then Mike Abrusci is here, baby.
Hi,
who now currently does a podcast with Diego called A Little Time, right?
Is there any tension?
We'll talk to you about cum.
I think we did the podcast while you guys were doing the podcast.
Yeah, I did. Yeah, we were doing the same time.
He was already planning his escape
ran
strategy.
concurrently.
Mm-hmm. Should we talk about the other the podcast we did together? Also had an interesting studio, which was my car parked on West 4th Street.
Oh boy, that was interesting.
We used to podcast seated inside of a car.
We saw Willem Dafoe once, and we talked about it for like 30 minutes.
I know.
That's more interesting to me than UFC.
It was. That was the most
Dafoe.
interesting thing that happened on that podcast was Willem Dafoe walked in front of the car.
We were sitting there parked, and you're like, that guy looks like Willem Dafoe. I'm like, I think that's because it's Willem Dafoe.
Right, because no one's ever looked like him. He's literally one of a kind.
Yeah.
Also, who does he think he is not being named William?
Yeah, right.
The only person I've ever heard of named Willem.
I also love that.
I follow a YouTuber whose name was Willem.
You follow a YouTuber named Willem.
Mm-hmm.
Is it a U before the M?
Or is it no, just Willem.
Wow, I was pictured like Willem.
He's like Danish or something.
Ew.
That was the big highlight of our podcast was the Willem Dafoe drop.
I mean, also we got to go to a bunch of UFC events.
Yeah, I don't see.
Cool.
I forgot that we did that. We somehow worked our way onto Media Row.
Very
weird.
We
sat cage side at like MSG and like big venues, and like I could still to this day I can't watch a mixed martial arts fight and break it down like for real.
Oh yeah,
I just know who hits each other harder.
Well, I mean, that wasn't really our job. We weren't commentating. We're just to report what's happening.
We would just sit. It was very intense to see people get knocked out that close to you.
It's a different feeling.
I've seen it all the time.
What was it? You guys had a press pass and you could go in?
Yeah, well, kind of. It was like an intense thing. You'd have to get there like hours early and stay till like 2 hours after.
Because our podcast was attached to a pretty decent-sized MMA website.
Right.
So they were kind of already like, what's the word? Established by the people that accept press credentials. So UFC is like, oh, we kind of know who you guys are. Yeah, sure. Here's 3 press credentials. And we would drive to Atlantic City or go to MSG.
That's so cool.
I mean, to my opinion, my favorite one was Atlantic City because we got to sit so close.
Yeah, and the interviews were really cool. Like in the casino, we were just in there with the fighters.
We were a great little team because Dan was phenomenal at tweeting what was happening. Like, it was really impressive how amazing he was at immediately coming up with jokes for the fights that was happening. I was editing the video, and Luke was running backstage to interview and bring me back the card, and I'd edit the video and post it on the YouTube.
Yeah.
We were a finely tuned machine.
Yeah, I'd like to think we gave Luke the entrance into quick crowd work videos. He was interviewing fighters behind the scenes.
Off the cuff.
Where are you from?
Yeah.
Conor McGregor, where are you from? Like, Ireland.
Cub Swanson, you fucking?
What do you do?
I remember being so nervous around the fighters.
Oh, yeah, they're terrifying.
I've smoked weed with a few of them
I
won't name them by name because that would be
How are they in interviews?
Not scary.
Because it's always like you look at someone. You always look at someone and you're like, oh, they're famous. They must be great to talk to. Are some of them
really bad at holding microphones close to their mouth?
Yeah.
Like
there's
just like anything. Some are good, some are bad.
There's very few, I think, that are charming enough.
Right. There's very few. So when they did, it stuck out.
So yeah. although I feel like all the UFC guys that are charming or like good at public speaking at all eventually just end up working for UFC, like commentating or doing like
they're not good fighters.
No, even if they're good, like Bisping was amazing, but he just also happens to be very charming and personable and good at moving conversation along and stuff like that.
Some people didn't have the charm, some did.
Right.
But it was just fun. Sitting that close to fights, I still think is great. There was one, I remember, we're doing the PFL, which is like a newer league.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about that.
And remember the guy who, like, won, and I guess people thought he wasn't going to, he was a nobody, like, no one, and he walked past the media table going, fuck you guys.
Yeah.
I told you I was going to. We were all like, who are you,
We
man?
don't know who
Yeah.
you are. We didn't root against you. I don't know you. I've never heard of you.
I've seen when we were doing the PFL event, the girl Kayla Harrison was sitting behind us, who's the judo champ. I farted on her that day.
That's sick, dude.
Yeah, her and her boyfriend who's in the UFC, Anthony Rocco, were sitting behind me, and I let one loose that like I noticed they both knew. And anytime I see them on TV now, I'm like, I farted on her and her boyfriend.
That's great. That's
They
what she
were directly
deserves
behind us in the
for
PFL.
winning a gold medal for America. Coward. No, she's great.
Should have won
Boom.
2 gold medals.
That's true.
I know she was on Impractical Jokers too.
Then
An
then you can
episode.
get
She
farted
never
on.
won again. Like
Those
her
are-
lung capacity was destroyed by you farting on her.
So the idea of this podcast is to start by talking about first jobs. Because I worked in this deli.
I know.
Stocking these very shelves, as
What
you
a-
could see poorly.
I always feel like some of these things have been here since opening. Like these items, they just look like they're 30 years old.
It's
I
the
think it's just-
colors some of them choose. Some of them haven't changed like their graphic designs in a while.
Yeah.
Think about the amount of flyers comics have for shows we're on, and companies are like, we're going to do the same tomato sauce logo for eternity.
Yeah.
That's kind of cool, though.
And
I
a comic's
back
like, I won't post the same flyer on Instagram twice.
it. Yeah.
It's also like if the expiration date is 2030, you're an idiot to replace it before then. You know
Right.
what I mean?
Fair enough. Fair enough.
You ever meet someone who doesn't believe in expiration dates?
Mike.
I hate. You don't believe in them?
I think they're a suggestion.
Mike has literally said, I don't think that goes bad. I'm
I
like,
don't
what
think
are you talking
I don't
about?
think I don't think food goes bad.
'Cause we live together.
Because
Yeah.
Okay, but the thing is that we're vegan.
Together.
So together.
I mean, sure.
and separately.
And separately.
But I think that truly most vegan food cannot go bad.
It's an insane thing to think.
I don't know. When's the
Well,
last-
something
no,
that-
that's interesting.
What's
last time-
something the public thinks goes bad that you think
Everything
doesn't?
goes bad. What are you doing? Everything goes all food goes
I
bad.
gotta hear
except
him
for
out on
honey.
this.
No,
What is
man,
it?
what am I? Yeah, but like with it, not like if it's in the same year, I'm gonna eat it.
Okay.
The same year.
No, that's fair. So
Oh,
like,
with
if you
expiration.
Jelly.
so if you bought this and it was like expiration is April 2030, and then it was like
It's not all
September.
our products.
you know, and
Yeah.
it was like September of that year.
Yeah,
You'd be like, really?
I'm for sure eating it.
yeah, I get
Really,
that.
if it's a day past it, I will find a smell that's probably not even there.
Yeah. You'll
I'll
make it up.
smell and I'll be like, that's bad, and I'll dump it a day
Yeah.
after.
I've never smelled milk.
All it takes is 3 whiffs of milk, any milk, for me to think it smells
Yeah.
sour.
Yeah.
No, that's
Yeah, I
fair.
don't. Yeah, because at my job I have to like
Smell milk?
I do have to. Well, because I'm in charge of like ordering all the shit for the office. So like I pick up the milk shipment, whatever, the milk delivery on Mondays. So then I'm like, all right, well, we only have room for so much, so I have to. I'm like, I don't know, all milk smells bad to me.
Yeah, right.
It does. It
So I just
doesn't-
go like, okay, this one's the oldest. I'll pour it out. And then get
Before
rid
you
of it.
described your job, I thought you were like Napoleon Dynamite testing the milk. He's like, the
That's my
defect in
job.
this one
Yeah.
is
Oh yeah, I
bleach.
forgot about that.
I thought you were a milkman. You look like you could be a milkman.
I would
like
love-
the one that
He
has
does love
glass.
fucking people's wives.
I really do.
So-
I'd be a milkman. Yeah.
I can see if you're wearing like an all-white suit and a black tie. Makes total sense.
They
I mean,
used to
that's
come
most
with
of-
like the
that's-
glass jars of milk.
Yeah.
Seems like a cool
I like
thing.
a glass jar.
My grandpa always talks about that. He's like, we had a knife guy and a milk guy. I was like, was there anything in between? Like, we need our knife sharpened and new milk.
Right.
That's all
It all depends on which side of the spectrum. You're like, if you're like, oh, I need bread, and like that, the milk guy will help you with that. The knife guy doesn't even know where to start
Right,
with that.
right.
Just a guy who you trusted coming to your house.
With knives?
Man, thank God I never existed in a time where like our jobs were a guy. Although I guess all of us are a thing.
Yeah.
Man, I got to stop being so high.
Right, yeah, I don't know. I was kind of on board for a second, then I got confused.
No, you should have. When I said all of us are kind of a thing, that's when everyone should have been like, he has no point there. There's no point
Like,
to be
what?
made.
I wish there were still a knife guy because I got some stuff I need to be sharpened.
If you
We
work
have
at a
knife
restaurant,
guys
there's still
here.
knife guy. Yeah.
Yeah. Fuck.
We had knife guys here, elevator guys.
They got to come to the house.
Yeah, they're not coming to houses. But I remember when I worked in a restaurant on the Upper West Side, this guy would pull up. He was young. He was like 20, maybe.
Yeah.
Super, like, a Bronx Tale kind of kid. Like, hey, how you doing?
Right.
And he pulled up in like a short, like an ice cream looking truck, or like a short box truck.
Yeah.
And it had like a window in it. And they would sharpen the knives in that
In the truck.
in the truck. So
Yeah,
you'd, like,
yeah.
walk in,
Oh, wow.
get our knives, go in, and him and his grandfather would just fucking whittle away and come back in and go, here you go, $40. And here you go.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
That's old
It's
school.
cool. It was
so old school.
There's
Yeah.
there's
That's
like
what I miss about working here is those people who the guys who came in and they had one purpose. There was the
Yeah.
knife guy, the bread guy, and we
Yeah.
would see them every morning until they killed themselves or died.
Absolutely.
You'd be like, what happened? They'd be like, there were 2 separate workers here, father-son teams, where one of them, the father murdered the son, and the other one, the son murdered the father.
That is
Whoa.
beautiful
Yeah.
cycle of life right there, though,
Jesus.
isn't it?
The 2 of them were the elevator guys. They were never not arguing in the store.
Oh, of course.
The dad was shitting on the son constantly. Like the dad would leave his coffee. He would put the sweet and low in the coffee and leave them on the counter for us to clean up. And he would yell at his son all the time. Then one day, the son just woke up and killed him.
Wow.
Yeah.
Was it because he disrespected you guys with the sweet and low?
Yeah,
Or you just
I
can't
think,
shake it
you know
enough?
what he didn't see was I gave the son a year's supply of sweet and low if he just took out the dad.
Yeah, just fucking get it out of here.
Yeah, no, you have to think of it because you were working here with your dad, and he probably envied your relationship. He's
You
like,
guys
why
have a great
can't we be like
relationship.
them?
Yeah, great
Yeah.
relationship. Big fan of your dad.
His
Yeah.
dad owns the
Top-notch
sweet and low.
guy.
He doesn't put it
Top-notch.
on. I'm trying to get my dad on an episode of the pod.
Daddy!
He has no interest.
Pop in.
See, I think there's a big. We were talking about this last
Stop
night.
touching me.
We were talking about this last night. I think
Grabs
if you're
harder.
like if you work with your dad and he owns the business, that's cool.
Yeah.
If you work with your dad and you both don't own the business, it's very sad.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
weird.
Like your
I knew-
dad just manages the ball pit at Chuck E. Cheese.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's like these.
Just the ball pit.
Yeah.
Just-
and then you just come in and wipe down each ball. every
Oh,
night.
I wish they were that clean. Those things are disgusting.
Imagine.
Most
Yeah.
thankless job of
Yeah.
all time.
Yeah, hey, nobody
the most the
knows
ball
I
pit
do
got
this,
was a
but-
Lysol spray.
Dude, if.
It's honest work.
I got kicked out of a ball pit once as an adult. It was pretty cool.
Yeah.
I
just
agree with
being in
that
it?
though. But when your dad's the there's a little more leniency.
Yeah, because I think it's fine because it's like it's a family business and it could be passed down.
Right.
But if you guys are just both janitors at the same place, you're like, oh, this is something wrong.
You're gonna get
here.
yelled at the same amount as your dad.
Yeah, exactly.
There's someone to yell at your dad, you're gonna get yelled
Dude,
at too.
You
Yeah.
can go rat on your dad for something to try and get his job.
You just
like-
watch your dad get disrespected. That's
Oh.
brutal.
Yeah.
Brutal.
Oh yeah, my dad has knocked people out in this store,
Yeah,
so
that's
it's like
great.
I get to.
See, that's awesome.
I love
Right.
your dad.
I don't
That's the
remember.
American
I'm trying to think. Like I remember him doing bad jokes and me feeling disrespected at having to witness them.
Yeah.
Like
That's
his big bit, like if he had to like put the album of the greatest hits, it's a guy coming in saying, "Give me a bacon, egg, and cheese, no ketchup." Then my dad goes, "Oh, extra ketchup."
Nice.
That is his big one, man.
Yeah, 'cause they
Extra
didn't say-
ketchup
they
is
said-
his album title. It's him
It's just him
holding a
holding
bottle of ketchup.
Tracks
bunch of
3,
women
4, and
saying,
5.
And honestly, it's such a good album cover.
Yeah.
The title's written in red.
Making album covers for your dad's dad jokes is a very funny Christmas
Yeah.
gift.
My dad's favorite.
Oh my
Top
God!
touch.
I can't.
Actually, make
Stop
it
being
for
so close
him.
to me.
Yeah, make it for him.
My
Wow.
dad's favorite joke is he takes his shirt and goes, "Hey, is this felt? It is now." It's a pretty decent
That's a
dad
decent
joke.
Dude,
Or he just
I
calls me
like
gay.
those jokes that like they didn't write themselves, but they're pretty fun.
They're fun enough.
My
Yeah.
But that's
grandpa
like a-
has one of the most. What was yours?
No, go ahead. I want to hear your grandpa
My
say.
grandpa did this when we were in like a family's funeral.
I love it
We were
already.
sitting next to each
Oh my
other in
God.
the pews, and he turns to me and he goes, "Dan, someone here is gay." and I, and I
You
was-
tell me this. I love this.
and I go, "What?" He goes, "Kiss me and I'll tell you."
That's a fucking phenomenal joke.
While there's a dead body in front of us.
That's a phenomenal
Your
joke.
grandson to kiss you. Dude, that's the most up my alley joke that's ever existed.
And it's dude, because they all get
Oh
to
my
a certain
God.
age where like everyone around them's croaking, so they don't really even. That's just an event that they go to.
It's not
Yeah.
plagiarism if the source is dead.
That's a good
Yeah.
point.
I know a guy who his mom died, and like she was
Nice.
like in her 80s, and everyone who's going into the wake is like saying they're sorry for his loss, but all the old people are so like they don't care anymore because
No.
they've seen it so much. So one guy goes up to him and goes, "Eddie, I'm sorry about your mom. Anyway, listen, I'm double parked. I gotta get out of here."
There's only so much a person can care.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right.
Funerals are even worse now once you're a comic because undoubtedly you're going to get one question like, "Still doing it?" And you're
Yeah.
like, "Come on, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
At least I'm living."
Yeah.
Yeah, being alive, I'm really doing it.
Yeah.
Crushing
every
it.
day.
Unlike your wife, you say that to the guy's wife.
Boom, roasted.
So what? All right, well, let's get into it then. What were your guys' first jobs? Do you have anything crazy you did, or
you
was
wanna
it
go
pretty
first, Woman?
standard?
You go first.
My first job, I was very lucky. So when I was 16, we moved into a neighborhood that had like a little like strip mall plaza, like so physically close to my house. And I went in to get an application for Burger King, and I'm like, fuck it, I'll do this, whatever. It's a good first job. It's a first job.
Right.
And when I was walking back to the house, I noticed that there's an empty storefront, and in the window it said "Coming soon, South Florida Hockey." And I played hockey growing up. That's my only thing. That's all I cared about. And a hockey store was opening, and it was physically the closest storefront to my house. Like it was in the closest corner, and I'm like, well, that's what I'm gonna work. I'm gonna do that. And every day when it opened, I walked in and asked for a job. And he goes, "I just opened. I don't need anyone." And he's like, "Just write your name down, I guess." And he like was very nice and took my name and number. And I went in every day and just sat there and talked to him for like hours on end for 3-4 months. Like I just bothered him every day. And then
Would you say you guys became friends?
Yes.
Or were you just an annoying child to him?
looking back, I must have been annoying because like I want to sit down and watch TV while no one's in here.
You were
Like, I don't-
16. How old was he?
I think when I stopped working there, he was 39. So probably like 36,
Oh, so
37.
he was an age where it wasn't creepy.
I
Right?
thought you were
No.
going to say, like, so Diego, was that your first job? No, he got a restraining order.
No,
that was
From
my
Burger
first-
King
Oh,
across
I
the
think my
street.
first kiss.
Oh, sorry. sorry.
Sorry.
So, and then the first thing he's like, he needed me. He's like, can you do me a favor and hand out flyers at your
Oh,
game
hell yeah.
later? I can't pay you, but I'll give you some equipment. So I asked for something, and he gave me that, and I went to the rink that day and like put flyers on people's cars.
Oh, that's cool.
And would come in and hang out,
And then he gave you a 5-minute spot.
and they gave me a 5-minute spot.
spot,
I had a little
yeah.
hosting spot. No, and
You had to do the check drop.
yeah, and then he gave me like a half shift on Saturday, and then I got another shift, and then I started working 4 days a week. I would go home from school, drop my stuff off, walk to the store,
That's pretty dope.
and just work there by myself. Like he'd leave, and I'd be by myself in a hockey store, my favorite thing in the world. And like friends would come hang out, and I would just like read magazines of like new equipment coming out, or I'll just like test stuff or like fix my skates or mess with my equipment.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
like it couldn't have
Because
been
business was booming.
yeah. It couldn't have been a more perfect job for me at that point in my life.
Yeah.
I didn't really get paid very often, like money, because I would just like take equipment instead and be like, I write down like, oh, took a Bauer Vapor 20, so I would work that off. And that's all I needed, though. The reason I wanted a job was to pay for hockey equipment because
Right.
my parents were like, you can do whatever you want, but we're not paying for it. So I worked there for like 3 years, and he became one of my best friends and was like, I started testing equipment for companies. They would like send me things, and I would call them, and we'd talk.
You were a hockey
And
influencer.
Oh, dude, it was great. Yeah. This one company sent me a stick, and they're like, I guess they didn't expect me to know so much, and they're like, see what you like, and I tested it, and then like I called them and like had like this whole breakdown of like the lie,
The most you thing that's ever existed.
the lie and the kick point and like the flex point, and they're just like, oh, okay, and they're like, I could hear them like looking for a pen, like, oh shit, all right. It was so sick. It was the best job ever.
I didn't know any
Shout
of
out
those
to
parts.
Dan
I didn't know there was a
Rodriguez.
separate part of a stick.
What?
I didn't know there was more than one part to a stick.
It depends on the type of stick, but yeah, there's like details that people would prefer.
Yeah.
And basically, they'd ask me my opinion of those. But
On
like,
the trail I run in the morning, the one time where it comes out of the woods cuts past the hockey ring, and it is the most scary part of my run if I know teens are in that ring.
oh yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
'Cause
yeah.
I put the volume up because I don't want to hear any of the roast they say because I'm still at a point where they will affect me.
Yeah.
I will hear it and internalize it.
For sure.
Yeah, they're like hockey players and wrestlers are two of the most vicious, I feel like. Like in high school. Just kids who were like unrelenting.
Yeah,
I
they got
had
the
a-
energy.
My high school had a weird thing where it's like
Bless you.
there was a lot of but some sports we were really good at, but I felt like I don't know, there was just like none of that weird stereotypical like jock thing
Good.
in my school. I think it was mostly like if you were in a gang, you were cool.
Right.
Oh, okay.
And if you weren't,
Right.
no one cared.
We had the thing where like the cool hot kids, no one liked. No one like they thought they were that thing, but like no one liked them.
Oh,
it was a
it's
very
just-
weird
yeah.
feeling of they're like, we're the best. I'm like, you guys suck. Like,
Right.
Yeah, it was
So
like
weird.
It was
They
like
invented popularity in their own heads.
yeah,
Yeah.
they're like we're cool, and they're like whatever.
so whatever, we're busy.
Kids would like wear their football jerseys on Fridays when there was games, and I'd be like, "You're on the football team." Like I didn't know, and no one knew or
Like
cared.
you could tell, like when a pep rally really was just sad. Like anytime I see a show and there's like an exciting pep rally, I'll turn to my friends and be like, "Come on!" They'd be like, "Wait, yours weren't that exciting?" I was like, "No, no one cared."
No one gave a
My
shit.
school like was notorious. Our women's basketball team and softball team were the best.
Yeah.
Like every year I was in high school, like all starting 5 on the basketball team were D1. But that weirdly you think it would have made school
Right.
pride more. It didn't. It just put the men down.
We had
Yeah.
And no one had any pride for sports.
we had this weird thing where our football team was absolutely terrible. They're like 2 and
Oh, yeah, our
whatever
football
the other
team was
number is.
god-awful.
And our hockey team, my senior year, I was a captain. We won a national title, and they didn't care. And they didn't even include us in the pep rally. So I made all of my teammates wear our jerseys, and we sat in the front row. And I remember they're like, go for the football team. They're 1-17. I don't know how many football
Yeah,
games
yeah,
there
yeah.
are. And we're literally just won a national title, and they didn't care.
Wow. That's incredible. My mom went to go see my cousin. She went to go see my cousin Connor when he was
Connor!
playing high school football, and they were the same thing. They were like 0-7 or whatever, and they were getting absolutely destroyed by this team. It was like 50-0 at
Jesus
halftime.
Christ.
And they go into the locker room, and then the halftime show is like a Nutcracker sort of like orchestra called Les Toy Shop Fantastique.
Oh.
And my aunt turns to my mom and goes, "Don't tell Connor this is the halftime show. He'll kill himself."
Yeah, it was
a bad
weird.
high school football team breeds alcoholism because then you just go to the football game and you're like, if they score a touchdown tonight, we are gonna party.
Yeah,
Like
one
you do
touchdown.
one touchdown. It no longer becomes.
If they touch the ball in a forward manner, I am drinking 5 beers.
And like we would, that's how party. Like if they just had a decent game, they'd be like, "Yeah, we're throwing a party tonight. We're
yeah.
gonna get murdered."
Yeah, we had like the girls basketball team, the soccer teams, and then like the wrestling team wasn't good, but we had a couple kids that were like state champions.
Right.
But
We had a
but
blind
everyone else
wrestler
around them was like bad.
killed.
I love that the women's team. Like if your mascot, your school mascot, the Panthers, the girls are like the Lady Panthers, and you're like, you
Yeah.
know, because Panthers are girls too. Like you know,
Yeah, we were ours was the Lady Lancers.
Yeah. Ours was the Lady Musketeers, which is not a thing.
Neither is
They just have big mustaches and swords.
the Lady Musketeers.
That's beautiful.
Oh no.
That's
You
great.
knock
was your
down a
first job?
white cheddar mac and cheese.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
See,
what'd
if
you
I'm
say?
going for a mac and cheese, I'm not going for a white cheddar. I'm
No,
fine with the
reg-
regular mac and cheese.
Reg Ched is for me.
I like shapes. Give me a shape. The shapes, because you know why? There's more ridges in it, so it gets a little more al
Yeah,
dente.
it's
a
surface
the
area thing.
SpongeBob one could get a nice little hardness to
Yeah,
it.
that's nice.
I like
Doesn't
the
get
hard
mushy.
mac and cheese.
Yeah,
I'm al dente over here. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I like an erectness to my pasta shell.
Oh
What-
my first job.
Yeah, go ahead.
I
We
worked.
could end the podcast now.
Yeah, sure. I don't care.
No, I've heard everything I need to hear.
Yeah. I worked at my parents' best friends owned like a machine shop, so they would make parts for like all the different like high tech machines at hospitals.
Wow.
So my first job was literally I just stood in the summer. I stood at a grinding wheel, and I would take the pieces and just like grind the little extra things off to make them smooth, and that was my whole job.
Huh.
That's all I did for a whole summer.
Wow.
So you were a sander.
Yeah, I did that. I was 13. I stood there, and they paid me cash and bought me lunch every day.
That's great. So you went and you sharpened Diego's knives, is what I'm
yeah,
hearing.
I could probably. Listen, if I had a grinding wheel at the house, I could just do it.
Was the wheel automatic? Did you have to like pedal it?
Ooh, was there a pedal?
There was no pedal. There was
Man,
just
I
a
love
switch.
a pedal.
By the way,
Yeah,
how,
anything with a
how
pedal.
dangerous is this?
not very. Like the big machines that I didn't work on could like crush your hand and stuff.
Yeah.
But
My hand?
any hand. But then what I didn't.
I like the clay pedal. I'm still on
Ooh.
pedal. The
Yeah,
idea
yeah.
of like
Because you gotta
hitting
keep it
something
going.
while spinning it. Yeah, there's like a beat to it.
It's like a wah pedal when you're playing guitar. That's fun.
I want to take up an instrument again. I think.
How
I
high?
don't know.
Bongos.
Yeah, weird one like the triangle.
Dude, you should get a theremin.
world's best triangle
You should get a theremin.
Is that the one with like the?
You put your hand in it, it just goes like.
Yeah.
Woo, 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 woo.
I really learned
That's like a super good high guy instrument.
Yeah.
that is. It makes sounds are great when you're high.
Yeah, dude.
No, if you're gonna be, have you seen those guys who sit in like Washington Square Park with just like the bowl in front of them and they smack it and it makes like a noise that like vibrates?
Oh
your
yeah, like the
soul?
Tibetan prayer bowls.
Yeah,
yeah,
But you
yeah.
like smack. You're like, how many noises can this thing make? All of them. Can make
Yeah.
all the noises.
Like Ryan Beck's fantastic joke about the Chinese guy with the bent
With the string.
string.
With
He goes,
the one
I don't
string.
know if you're good at this.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't know if you're good at this.
I need another old Chinese guy to stand behind you and nod.
Yeah.
And tell me you're doing
I
a good job.
joke. Right
I
back.
love that joke so much.
That's so true. That thing is wild to see. You're like, is that really an instrument I'm
Yeah,
looking at?
and you're like, are you playing it well? And the guy's like, I don't know.
Hard
I
to
don't
say,
know
really.
either.
What would you consider your worst job to be? You didn't seem to dislike the first job.
No, that job was nice because it was basically
Yeah, you both had good first jobs.
I would just go in because it was my parents' best friend, and Amory, who's the wife, would pick me up in the mornings and just take me and then be like, they'd basically be like, hey, you're working Tuesday and Thursday this week, and I go like, okay,
Yeah.
and then I just because it was in the summer, so it was just like kind of whenever, and yeah, that was fun. What was my worst job? All of them, other than that.
I think
mean-
no.
No, my current job is annoying, but it's not
What do you
like
currently do?
I work at like a law firm.
Drop their name.
No,
And Diego beats children
And adults mostly.
and adults mostly.
I mostly fight adults, but I also I Instagram more
When
children.
I said
It's very
beat
funny.
children, that woman behind you turned. She just walked out of the store, but that was the last thing she heard.
Yeah.
There's two guys on the floor of the deli
Yeah.
just saying beating children.
Yeah, I currently teach MMA. That's my job.
Oh, it's really cool.
Thank you so much. Watch your mouth.
I gotta stop touching you.
Worst job. I think my worst job was just serving in New York City. Like being a server was like really annoying.
Yeah,
There's
I could
parts
see
of it really
that.
cool, like fucking other servers, but like
Yeah.
people are quite rude to you.
But the rest
especially-
of it is bad.
Yeah.
The rudeness is dealing with people is where jobs become tough.
Yeah.
Mr. Feeney's bitch ass.
Mr. Feeney's a fucking
Because I feel
asshole.
like people don't treat you the same when you're the MMA teacher because you can beat them up.
Yeah. There's
When you're the waiter, you can't just beat them
I would
up.
always go up to tables and go, "Hi, can I get you anything?" Also, I can beat up both of you.
Yeah.
Hi, how are you? I'm Diego Brown Belt in Jiu-Jitsu.
I'm very good at fighting.
So good. Better than you.
Yeah.
Yeah, it really is like it's the toughest thing to be a server, and when someone's just acting like a dick, to have to look at them and be like, "You're right," you
Yeah.
know, it's brutal.
I had a man once try to get to my attention by pulling out keys and jingle them from a distance.
It worked.
Yeah, it
Really?
hurt. My
I've
feelings-
gotten off stage by that before.
Oh,
That's
instead of a
like
light?
that's an old way that in like certain black rooms they would get the comic off stage. They were
Yeah.
bombing, they would key them. I was
Wow.
bombing at a venue in Montgomery, Alabama, and the owner of the venue just walked in front of the stage in front of my face, took out his keys, and just
Well, that's
jangled
unnecessary.
them. And I wasn't even doing that bad.
You're like, buddy, I've done worse.
This isn't even close to rock
And
bottom.
he just goes, "I want to close," and I was like, "You could have said that without the keys."
Could just
Yeah.
lit me.
yeah.
Yeah, just light me.
Just light me.
Oh, that
I'll
was
go
one of the
after
last
that.
time. Oh no, I've performed in Alabama a few months ago.
It'd be cool if they wanted you to do more time and they shook the keys because that'd be a little key bump.
Ooh, a key bump.
Technically, I'm right.
He's not wrong.
I don't like technicalities.
I
Let's see. I think my worst job was I worked at a Subway inside of a gas
Oh,
station
yeah, that's
in Albany,
definitely
New
your
York.
worst.
That was my worst job, probably.
You worked at the mini Subway.
Yeah.
I just remembered a joke. Okay, well, my one of my best friends in high school's name was Jared, and
From
he-
Subway?
Well, let me get the joke. And he
pedophile.
started working at a Subway, and his mom went to the one that's closest to their house, thinking that's the one that he worked at. And he worked at a different one, and she goes, "Hey, is Jared here?" And the guy behind the counter was like, "Oh, he doesn't actually work here."
Oh my god.
Yeah, you fucking idiot.
That's great.
Yeah.
When we were driving on the Parkway north from like South Jersey, and there was sort of like one of those like a Subway. It was Burger King like Express, where like
Yeah.
it's like if the food's ready, you can take it. If not, we're not
Oh,
making it.
okay.
And my dad was so livid that he went to the manager. He's like, "What do you mean you don't have like a Whopper?" And the guy's like, "We don't have it." My dad's like, "This fucking sucks." And the guy goes, "I know."
For sure, dude.
Yeah, I hate that
I
job.
love a
Was
combo
so
fast
depressing.
food place. What else did you share in the gas? It was just was there a Dunkin' Donuts with
No,
the Subway?
it was just a gas station and a Subway.
Oh,
What's your
you
favorite?
guys-
What's your favorite combo? I like the Taco Bell KFC that I had
Yeah,
when I
I
was
think
growing
that
up.
one
was,
has
like,
to be a fun combo.
phenomenal. Potato wedges and a chalupa. Fuck out of here. That's delicious.
The one when I lived in Albany, we'd go to one at lunch for my other job, but it was Taco Bell Long John Silver's,
That's a sad one.
which was
Oh.
a brutal.
Long John's kind of sad inherently.
yeah, I don't want fast food fish.
No.
Yeah.
Take your time with the fish.
Take your time.
Take your
with
time
it.
with the fish.
Yeah.
What about what's your worst firing story? Do you have anything good?
Oh yeah, I've gotten fired a lot. I once got fired over the phone while I was taking a nap. That was
Over the phone while napping.
Yeah, so like I worked at this place. I worked at like a t-shirt printing factory basically. And I fucked up a lot of it. I was so bad. I would just like, I was in bands at the time, and I would just be like, "Hey, I'm going on tour for 3 weeks," and they're like, "When?" I'm like, "Tomorrow." Like didn't know.
Jesus Christ.
But I'm like,
Yeah.
like it was for a record label, so I just figured they would understand. But no, it's a job. But I would just do that. But then, so then I kept getting, I got like promoted, and then after I kept doing that, I kept getting demoted.
Yeah.
So by
Wow,
this
that
time,
sucks to go to the top of the t-shirt chain and to the bottom.
yeah, it was like I was running a big machine, and I learned how to do that. And then they're like, "Okay, now you just stand at the end of the dryer and count the t-shirts."
Were those machines made from your parents' friends?
No, but I'm
they
sure.
made
but-
medical machines. I
Yeah,
was trying
yeah.
to piece it together.
I know. I
A
wish.
through line, if you will. I was trying to net it.
Yeah.
I would like to.
So what the guy?
Oh yeah. So then, my job was just to count the shirts, and usually they're like didn't give a shit if you like left and didn't finish counting them. But we had these orders. We started like print, like you could like pack them up and do it and finish it tomorrow. But we started getting orders like for shirts that would go directly to Hot Topic. So then I would have to. So you'd have to like count them and then fill out these like very specific forms. But I was like, well, it's 4:00. So I'm leaving,
Yeah.
and just left, and then
Quitting time,
and then
like-
finally he was just like, "Hey man, I have to fire you," and I was just like, "Yeah,
I get it.
I mean,
I'm
I'm
signed
not
to a
gonna-
record label.
Yeah.
That's pretty good. I've never been fired.
Really?
Yeah, I've never been fired.
What happened at the hockey store? You
are
just
you
left
sure?
amicably?
I'm sure. Yeah.
Or they went out of business because you took all of the supplies.
No. They're doing great.
Are they still open?
No.
Okay.
And I'm trying to find him actually, because like I would love to talk to him. I haven't talked to him in 10 years probably
Yeah.
now, where he was like such an important influence on my life because we would always talk and he's always like, you don't want to work for people, you want to like carve your own thing out, and like I'd rather make X amount of money and not have to like answer to anybody. And it's like he's all about like doing your own thing, and he's like such a good dude. So if you know Dan Rodriguez, who lived in South Florida, feel free to hit me up.
This is the part of the podcast where I slowly move the cans of sauce and his
let's
face is
freak out.
behind it.
He's so great. I love that.
He's
guy.
been here the whole time.
We're just moving toilet paper, and
Yeah.
he's like, "You put me
Move
behind
that
something less
aisle."
embarrassing."
He
So
works here now.
I left that job because I finished high school and I wasn't doing anything. And I'm like, I'm kind of getting bored of working alone. And my best friend was working at a Journeys, and he's like, come work here. You're not doing anything.
Nice.
And then I started working there, and I left the hockey store. And then from that job, I became a manager of my own shoe store, of my own retail store.
Oh, wow.
And then I was...
Like
I
you
just-
opened your own shoe store?
I didn't open. They gave me a store. So
Okay.
unknowingly, I started working for a manager who was known for creating managers. So my best friend and I each got our own store. I was
Wow.
20 and I was managing a retail store.
A manager who makes managers?
Yeah, he's like known for like pumping out good managers. So the district would look at him first and be like, do you have any good co-managers that I can promote? And I got
He'd
my
be
own
like,
store.
not yet, but let me get my hands on them.
Yeah.
Give me 6 months on Lopez.
I'll make a man of you yet.
I got promoted and I had my own store for about a year, and then I visited my best friend in New York, the same person who got me that job.
Yeah.
He moved up here a year before I did, and I came and visited him like, oh, this is so sick. I should come here too.
Yeah.
And I went back to Florida, and I gave her a month, my district manager, and I'm like, hey, look, in a month I'm moving to New York, and she goes, okay, you need to leave now. Basically, she's like, well, you can't. They don't let you fill out your 2 weeks because they think you're going to steal stuff.
Oh, okay.
So, because my best friend did it the way that I should have done, where he's like, I'm out of here next week. And then he got to work all of it.
So they fired you that day?
I quit, but like, she's like, I didn't get paychecks I was expecting to move to New York with.
Right.
So I moved to New York with like $150.
Everyone knows the right way to do New York is coming without money.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I came with nothing.
Always come with less than you expected to have. That's
Yeah.
the rule of thumb.
Literally 2, what are they called? Bags of, what do they call when you move? Or when you fly?
Suitcases?
Suitcases, Jesus Christ. I get punched in the head every day.
so little. They're like, 2, what do you call it? I'm like, I don't know,
When
briefcase.
you fly is what gave it away.
Yeah.
Apples.
Some people do
I-
fly with garbage bags, though. You ever seen someone fly with a garbage
No,
bag?
that's
someone
depressing.
who
Yeah, I've
got
seen that.
something wrong.
No, my new
Jesus.
move is going to be I love the lady who wore all her clothes so she didn't have to pay for a check bag.
That's
Yeah, but then you have to take it all off when you go to the
No,
X-ray.
you don't. You
No,
have to
you
take off a
don't?
jacket. They're like, sir, this is 8 T-shirts.
And they're like, oh, just fucking go.
Take off your jacket. Which one?
Yeah.
And every restaurant I worked, I quit. I never got fired.
The reason I asked you when you said I've never been fired, and I said, "Are you sure?" is because I didn't know I had been fired from a job. It took someone else being like, "Dude, they fired you." I was like, "No, they didn't. I
They
left
take
on
you off
my
the schedule slowly.
No." It was just kind of like
I
it was,
fire people that way.
Do you?
Yeah.
And then what happens when they call you out on it?
And I go, yeah, well, I don't have any days for you.
So it's not. So you could theoretically bring them back.
I could. Yeah.
Yeah. That's nice though.
Yeah, I guess so.
I'm
You
trying to think-
ghost them.
I kind of
like
ghosted them from my job. Yeah.
I'm trying to I don't think I've quit a lot of jobs. I don't think I've ever.
You ever fire somebody?
No, because I never had
pretty
the.
sick.
I never had the
Sick.
authority to.
Makes my
The
dick
power.
hard.
Yeah, I got fired from my first job here in the city, which was a mail order head shop, like a website that sells like rolling papers and pipes and shit. I got fired for what's that? A time theft. yeah. Because for a while it was just you would write your time on a piece of paper and give it to the guy, and then they started doing an app, and then I would used to clock in at my apartment and then walk to work because it was like a 15-minute walk. So then I did that every day for months, and then one day he caught me, and I got fired. And I'm like, yeah, you got
really
me.
push people. You really see how far you can get with someone.
And then you just accept it. You're not like getting mad. You're like, yeah, you should fire me.
Yeah, I did wrong, but I got it. That's the same thing with like getting a ticket.
Yeah.
It's like I've done this thing so many times.
Yeah, one time
That
is-
one is whatever.
I get it.
I still hate tickets.
Yeah, it's not good,
But
but
luckily, sometimes you have a dad who a lot of cops come to his deli and judges, and the tickets disappear.
that's fun.
There's one here. I got a ticket on coming out of the Lincoln Tunnel, and it was like a
Abraham
$80
Lincoln?
ticket. Yeah, his tunnel.
The Abraham
one.
Lincoln. The Abraham Lincoln. It's shaped like a big hat.
And it's actually gay.
Ah,
You what?
What?
Oh, you pushed my hand.
Abraham Lincoln was gay?
Yeah, yeah.
You didn't know that?
Damn, dude.
I mean, none of us know it, but it's like kind of a.
I talked to him about it.
He's coming on next week.
that's
so.
a different kind of proclamation, if you know what I mean. How you do it? But yeah, I got fired from that.
Now I'm thinking about different shapes a Lincoln Tunnel could be, and which of the jokes I can make.
Shaped like a man's
orally.
penis. I'll tell you that right now.
What the fuck, dude?
Dude, a man's penis is a straight.
Well,
Not
actually,
mine.
now I'm just picturing it's the tunnel, and then when you get out of the tunnel, it's just Abraham Lincoln like accepting you in.
Oh, well, that's nice.
Well,
is-
no, anally.
Oh, that's
bad.
very nice. That's very nice.
It's one entrance into a city.
Dude, you
But
got
yeah,
it.
I got the ticket, and then the judge just took it, and he's like, I'll handle it. And then it turns out he just pushed the court date back a year. He's like, I hope the cop forgets.
oh, that's
So
just
that's an
as good.
interesting thing to do.
There's some cops though. They're like, I'm fucking going.
Yeah.
Imagine the cop already has it on his calendar.
Yeah. He's like, I'm getting that Lamort guy.
I had a cop pull me over by the Lincoln Tunnel, and he did it on foot. Like I guess I didn't yield to pedestrians.
Yeah, I got pulled over on foot.
And he comes out, he smacks my car, and he's like, "Pull over." And I was like, "What if the light had turned green and you didn't smack my car in time? Would I have just gotten away with this?"
I think you would have.
Possibly,
I really think I should have driven away.
Yeah.
That's why if a cop pulls me over, I beat him to death, and then there's nothing you can do about it.
For a second, I was like, wait, you don't have a car.
I don't have a
That's why I
car.
went first. I was like, he'll beat
I got
him to
pulled over
death.
on a bike once.
That's insane. Yeah, me too. No, I got pulled over on a
I
bike.
got a ticket on a bike, and I
Yeah.
still haven't paid it.
What'd you do?
He was shooting a gun in the
I
air.
br- yeah.
He was slinging
He
Jack
was selling
Daniels.
cocaine in the
I was doing mail fraud on my bike. I was opening up somebody else's mail while I was riding. No, I
He
ran
was doing time theft on his bike.
Dude, I ran a stop sign and I got a ticket that was the same amount of money as if I ran it in a car.
Yeah.
So I just didn't pay it, and I still have it, and I have
you
a
would
warrant.
think that
or
they should
something.
know if I'm not driving all four wheels, I can't afford the full ticket.
Yeah.
They don't care, man. I have one of my students is a cop, and he gave me a PBA card.
Oh, those
PBA
are
or
fun.
BBA?
PBA,
yeah.
Yeah, and I got pulled over.
Police Benevolent Association,
I love
something
the word
like that.
benevolent.
I think that's what it is.
My cousin's a cop. No card.
That's hilarious.
Benevolent is a good word.
Benevolent's a great word.
What does it mean?
I think it means you suck people's asshole.
Yeah. Or penis.
Or penis, whatever you have.
That's a good card then.
I got pulled over for running a red light on my a stop sign on my bicycle, and the guy's like ID, and you give him the ID with that.
Yeah.
Doesn't
And
it
they're
feel
like-
so awkward to do?
Yeah, you're like, is this okay?
Yeah.
It's like giving somebody MasterCard, like, do you take this?
But
Yeah. You
sometimes
get-
they're like, I don't give a shit.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, sometimes if you do something bad enough, or if you're rude, they're like, fuck you.
Well, yeah. Sorry, go ahead.
No, but I'm white appearing, so
Officer,
they're like, fucking get out of here.
I killed my friend with the PBA card. Here you go.
It holds no weight other than the like perceived respect of like, hey, if I let this kid go, then hopefully someone lets my nephew go or something.
Yeah.
like that,
Basically,
you know.
basically.
Because I had a gold card, which is like the extreme version of that
Oh.
thing. It's like gold plated. Well, you know. It's
Yeah,
like
yeah.
And that thing was literally like it almost became like, what can't you get away with this thing?
Yeah.
It was
Do they
ridiculous.
keep it? No, you.
One time
the
there's
color of
one
the
I've-
card wasn't white.
Yeah, right. That's honestly what it. I mean, seriously. But like I had one cop take it from me, and they said, but they have to send it back to the person who gave it to
Yeah,
me.
yeah,
And
yeah,
then my
yeah.
cousin, like, he was pissed at me because it got taken, but then he waited and gave it to me as a graduation gift from high school
that's
again.
sick.
That's sick.
Have you ever had the cops ask you like where you got the card from?
Yeah.
That's all for me because we get it from the cops give it to my dad, so I just have to be like, my dad has a deli.
And they're like, God, we understand
We
now.
got it.
Yeah, and then like I always say it out loud, and I'm like, there's so much more explanation.
Right.
He has cops that come, and I'm like, there's no good way. I get
No.
cards because we give cops some good sandwiches.
Right.
Yeah.
I would tell them that he's my cousin because we all have the same name. I'm like, oh, it's my cousin.
Ooh, a cousin's a good one.
Cousin's a good one. And then, like, we used to have a lot more cops that came to the gym. And I can't express to you how much fun it is to beat the shit out of a cop.
Yeah.
and then thank you for it.
Right.
It's like the fucking
That's
best.
incredible. Yeah.
Yeah, and they have to bow to you after.
Yeah, I'm choking like Black Lives Matter.
Dude, I told you this weekend I saw my cousin, and he just shows. I can't stop touching.
It's so
you
funny.
shouldn't be next to me. But I saw my cousin this weekend, and he's a New York City cop now. And I guess they have a website or something on the, and you can get to it on your phone, and they can look at their body cam footage, which is wild. But he showed me body cam footage
That's
of
the
him.
scariest Instagram.
It's rough, but it's like time stamped on the top and bottom and with their badge number. So if it gets out, it's like we know exactly who it came
Yeah,
from.
yeah, yeah.
Whoa.
But he showed me body cam footage of him and his partner
Having sex.
having sex. Him and his partner, his boyfriend.
yeah.
No, but him and his partner, there was a raccoon in someone's house, and him and his partner had to like get it out of the house.
It's so funny when cops have to do shit like that.
Yeah, because there's no animal control in the city really.
I want cops, but just when they're chasing like the rhino that got out of the zoo. I'm like, I want
Yeah.
to see that.
Yeah.
It's because, and I guess he can look at his partner's body cam also. So I got both angles of them trapping a raccoon under a laundry basket. And I was like, listen, I don't love that I can see body cam footage, but if it's going to be body cam footage,
that's good, though.
It'll be this.
I think it's better that we can see it because that adds a layer of, like, they know that what they do, hopefully, is going to get out. So
Yeah.
they have to
Yeah, so
behave.
they're going to look sexier.
Unless of course, their body cam turns off for some reason.
Wink. It's weird that they have that option to turn it off. They
Yeah.
probably shouldn't have that option.
That old gag.
Yeah.
Yeah, the button seems to just be right here in my hand.
Yeah.
Weird.
The button is attached to the trigger of my gun.
So wait, he had to show you it, or you can access this whenever
No,
you want?
he had it on his phone.
Wouldn't that'd be
Password.
great if you could like live stream any cop at any time, though.
I feel like it'd be really. I
Live
feel
PD, they're trying to do it.
yeah, people love that. I've never watched it.
There are people who like on their Twitter bio have like hashtag live PD.
Whoa.
Yeah, they love it so
You
much.
just like watch it.
Accountability. That's the word I was looking for.
Yeah, those are
5
lazy.
minutes
Just
ago.
find a lights flashing. Oh, you found it.
Jesus Christ.
Dude, that happens. I saw 4
Suitcases.
days ago. I was with my dad, and we saw this dude in the supermarket. And I was like, I fucking know that dude. I know 1, I don't like him.
Ooh.
But 2, I know him from somewhere, but I can't figure out where. Then I had to go to the post office this morning. It was the dude at the post office.
That was like I was outside of a bar that I was like doing a show at, and this guy was like looking at me.
Who books it?
I don't fucking remember.
This guy.
It's probably an open mic, and I'm lying. But I was just like, this guy was just looking at me, and I was looking at him, and I'm like mean mugging him because he's looking at me, and I don't fucking have any brain in my head. And then I was like, literally like an hour later, I was like, oh, is the guy that fired me for doing time theft. I forgot what he looked like.
That's so. I got on the L train and a guy was giving me weird eyes, and I'm like, I don't like this. And then a couple stops later, I see him stand up and walk towards me, and I can see his mouth moving. And I take my headphones on. And I go, "What's up?" And he goes, "Oh, you're very funny online." Okay, and he just like runs out. I'm like, "Oh, weird. All right."
That's so cool. He was like, I heard you on Fight Fist.
Yeah, that's what I heard.
I'm a big Dan Lamort fan. Can
Yeah.
you introduce me?
For sure.
Ugh.
And
Very
you're
easy.
there.
And you're there.
And you're there, which is nice.
I was at I had a show this Sunday in Brooklyn. You know, at Knitting Factory. You know, at the front of it is like the glass. It was so full that comics were standing outside, and Ben Katzner, Ben,
love Ben.
very funny comic.
Yeah,
He's
I like Ben.
watching the show outside through the glass, and then I come outside during the halftime of the show, and I'm like, "Hey, what's up, man?" I was like, "What were you doing standing there?" Like it was so clear that I could see. He was like, "Nah, I didn't think anyone could see me," and then. Every comic coming out was like, Ben, what were you doing standing right in the window? Like just a line of people being like, we all saw it. And he was like, I had no idea. I was
He's
in the
also
line of
like
vision.
he's like 6'4".
He's big.
Yeah.
So it's like, oh yeah.
I had
we
never
can see
stepped
you.
foot in the Knitting Factory before until
That's
that
so
day.
funny.
Yeah. It was like swamped with people.
Yeah, it's
Exactly what
a
I
very
didn't
popular
want to
show.
witness.
Yeah.
It was so
it's-
fun though. I
Good,
mean, so much
good.
fun. And the host, Sydney, like met a woman on stage. It was really hot
Ooh.
and spicy. I loved
Okay.
it.
I
Yeah,
like
I love
this.
when a host like seriously starts to flirt with someone on stage. Male or woman, I don't care who the host is. Like, show me a
Well,
relationship.
I care who the
forming.
host is. Yeah, all right.
Man.
Yeah.
The
It's a comedy show.
The host is man.
That's the name of our show. The host is man.
That does weirdly have a flow to it. The host is man.
It does come out smoothly.
It sounds like a Twilight Zone episode.
Yeah.
The host is man.
Man.
It sounds like a zombie movie that is a disease only passed through men. The host is men.
It's in a prison. A men's
There it
prison.
is. Yeah.
It's like Ricky O.
Now I'm al dente.
We're remaking Orange is the New Black, but just with men.
Yeah, but for the fellas.
for the fellas.
yeah. Penis is the new jail.
You quickly realized you had to change the last word of
Yeah. Yeah. I was like, oh, Jesus. Either way.
Heterosexuality is the prison.
That is my prison.
Yeah.
I watched. I devoted 2 hours and 43 minutes to American Honey yesterday for the first time.
What the fuck is that?
Shia LaBeouf's movie.
Oh,
I'm gonna tell everyone about it now.
Honey Boy?
American Honey. I think he has a new one coming out.
Called Honey Boy. Yeah,
is
American
called
Honey
Honey
came
Boy.
out
Are they related?
earlier. No.
No.
I mean, Shia LaBeouf's in both of them.
He is
This bitch loves
so
bees.
amazing. Oh my! I can't get over how cool Shia
Dude,
LaBeouf is.
I used to
what
be
would
a
the term be for his fans?
Truthers.
Buffish? I don't know.
Buffheads.
Buffheads.
Shy Guys.
Ooh, I like Shy Guys.
I tweeted at him like 8 months ago. Maybe I tweeted at him that he should start a podcast called The Shy Guy
Yeah, I think that's great.
because he just seems. I've watched an interview with him in a park, and I've been a big fan ever since.
He's great, dude.
So
we talked about
the turn.
this.
It was
Yeah,
the turn was after he got sober. He went to rehab, and then after that, I'm like, okay, you got like a.
This is my kind of guy.
He has like a good head on his shoulders.
He's sober now?
Yeah, he had. I think he was forced
Yeah.
to go sober
for
by
him.
a judge.
Yeah.
I'm pretty
but-
sure he did a movie where he acts as he plays his father?
That's in the
that's
movie.
Honey Boy.
That's Honey Boy.
Yeah.
Okay. American Honey was about like magazine salesmen who go across the country. They literally just sell. They're young kids who want to party on the road, and they just sell magazines to make them sustain on the road. And a girl who meets them. Blah,
I
blah,
had
blah.
friends who did that, but it was posters. And so
sold posters.
They would go to colleges in the beginning of the year, and they would. So that was a job. So they would
Just a bunch of Reservoir Dog posters.
Yeah, truly, that's what it is, or that blow poster, or
Yeah.
whatever.
God, they
so
love the
they
glow
would,
in the dark ones.
Yeah, the whole thing. So it was like maybe like August, September into October, they would just be gone because that was their job.
Yeah.
And they would just have like a route, whatever. It's like, oh, you're going from Chicago out to Wyoming, down to this, over to that, and then. But I was always like, that I want to do that, and then I just didn't because I didn't want to leave town for that long.
You realize that everyone can just get their Big Lebowski poster on Amazon anyway.
Yeah, so this was like 2009,
just
so it
make
was
an
still
iPhone
like a thing when it
background.
was like it could happen. Like people were like, "Oh, I'm just here."
Yeah.
Yeah,
Instead of-
it actually when I was in college in like 2013,
Wow, all right,
14,
show
they still did
I'll sit
that.
this one
Yeah.
out.
Yeah, they still did that, and I still bought them.
Yeah, yeah. I think it's
Kids
just
were still coming just to sell posters.
Yeah, I
What
thought
poster
I
did you
always
buy?
assumed it was like a bigger organization that was doing
I think
it.
it's like a
Yeah,
big
what did you
company, but then it's like all like loser
Yeah.
punk kids
Batman.
that do it.
Batman?
I think it was like a cool old
Mitt
Batman
Romney
poster or
poster.
something.
Ben Carson,
That's fine.
2016.
You're like, all right, kid.
Yeah, sure.
Get a custom order.
I don't remember what poster I had in my high school dorm room. That would have been intense.
Yeah,
College
like, why are
dorm
you
room.
here?
I don't remember what I had up.
I
Maybe
didn't-
a Hangover poster, of course.
Oh, okay.
I didn't. A buddy of mine when I was in high school, a buddy of mine worked at FYE in the mall.
Wow, I remember that store.
Yeah, it
Holy
was-
shit!
Now
Ask
he's
them if
a-
I can get a refund on my gift card. There.
Well, he's actually now a New York City cop. So.
Oh, okay.
But
so
he,
show,
but
show
he,
respect.
yeah, but he was a manager at the FYE, so they had all like the promo stuff. So he gave me this Kill Bill promo poster that was a life-size Uma Thurman.
Ooh.
It was
Oh,
huge.
yeah.
It took up my
It's jack
whole
off
bedroom
material.
door. It was her. It was just a yellow poster and her in the yellow suit with the sword.
Your parents had to keep asking you why there were holes in the poster.
Yeah, because I fucked it. They're just like, oh, weird.
Was it raining in your room?
Like you're upset that they even asked. Like,
Yeah,
yeah, obviously.
You're
I'm
like,
having-
no, I actually just really like those things at carnivals that you put your face in and you show it to them.
Why does this poster have so much water damage?
There's a leak forward. There's a forward
Is
leak
this
in my room.
polyurethane?
Yeah, the late. Well,
This
laminate.
polyurethane. Is it
I had a walk
completely
the
clear?
line poster. That's all I remember.
Was that the Dewey Cox story?
No,
that's
that
what
was
it
a Johnny
based off of.
Cash story.
Oh, this was the real one.
The real one.
You're thinking of Walk Hard.
Joaquin Phoenix vehicle.
Phoenix.
Yeah, man, I'm a big fan of the name Dewey Cox.
Dewey Cox is very funny.
Yes, Dewey Cox. Yes, we do.
Yes, we do.
Do I'm trying to think. I was looking for a Dewey Cox riff. I had nothing.
Get
What
out of
was-
here,
that was the
Dewey.
one about Walk the Line.
I mean, it was loosely based off of that was the kind of like
genus.
imagery, beginning
That
of
was
it. But
Johnny
they used a bunch
Cash?
of different, bunch of different musical.
Yeah, because they did
tropes.
like the Beatles and
Beatles and
Dylan,
Dylan.
and
another musician probably.
yeah.
Ooh, I just watched a documentary of Bob Dylan. He's a weirdo. I like it.
Yeah, he's.
I think I'm gonna start going on stage with the face painted.
I don't know, man. I
Wait,
mean,
what?
you do well at like
He
the
Oh,
used to go
Gathering
on
of the
stage,
Juggalos.
Dylan with his face painted.
Did he?
What?
Yeah,
didn't know that.
like a white kind of paint.
Oh.
This is
Is
black.
So this podcast is on Gas Digital then.
Oh, a Compound Media podcast.
No,
Yeah.
they're not the Juggalos.
They're not Juggalos? Okay.
No, Juggalos would be Gas. I
That's
think.
Gas Digital.
Yeah.
Those what type
I
of
want that
music do
t-shirt.
Juggalos even play?
The ICP.
Yeah, that's
and
the whole
everything
thing.
else. And everything that's
Yeah, like what is the genre?
So ICP is like
Awful?
weird bad rap.
Unbearable.
Like rap for children who drink Monster Energy drink.
mixed cut with Mountain Dew.
in 1999. Though.
Yeah. So, but then there's like a bunch of groups like surrounding them, like Twisted.
aggressively malnourished adult white people.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
seems what it seems like.
They're either too skinny
Yeah.
or so fat that they can't walk.
But if you have enough
that's it.
fans that they call it a gathering,
Sure. Hey, they
Dude.
they hit a niche.
They are. I will. I first of all love the music.
really? So
No, it's
Oh.
brutal.
no, it's
but
awful.
I think that they're geniuses with marketing and stuff because they own their own record label. They own their own
Movies?
Movies.
They got movies?
They own their own T-shirt printing.
So smart.
Facility.
So
they
smart.
print their own merch, so that's low overhead.
Yeah.
They like they own all their music. They're in charge of all their touring. So they are. It's all profit.
Yeah.
That does it makes sense because like when I go to think of it, how good a self-release is, I have 2 shitty comedy albums and own none of it.
Oh, really?
Which is so weird to think of, that you could just stop owning your property.
Yeah.
When I see what's happening to Taylor Swift, you see that?
No.
Her, the guy that used to manage Bieber, who like she hates, bought her music.
Oh,
so that
Jesus.
because her old label sold it to him
Oh,
instead
sick.
of back to her. So like I'm thinking in my head, like imagine being so big as a comic, you need to like buy your record back from Comedy Dynamics.
Yeah. Like, no.
She's like, I'm just gonna re-record it. That would never work for comedy to just re-record your album.
No.
No.
It would never hit the same way.
So now she doesn't have the rights of her music?
Some of them.
Some
And
of
then
them.
like she was supposed to get honored with this big award, and they weren't gonna let her perform her legacy songs like the old ones. But then
Oh.
she just put them on blast publicly.
Interesting.
And it worked. That works more than anything. It's just publicly shaming
Yeah.
someone.
Yeah, Twitter's great for that. It's sad that she won't be able to play her big hits like My Ex-Boyfriend and My Other Ex-Boyfriend.
She had a song called Romeo and Juliet at a point. I think she just started naming other people's relationships.
Yeah. She's like,
Who was that
Benny.
people who had a bad break? Romeo and Juliet. They
There
had a
you
tough
go.
one.
This one's the breakup with Vince Vaughn and Jennifer
That's
Aniston.
fun. Yeah.
It's called Romeo and Juliet, and somehow the first line of the song is "You're on the phone."
Wow.
No, it's the Baz Luhrmann Romeo plus Juliet.
Yeah.
Oh,
With
okay.
Leonardo DiCaprio.
Mid-90s Jean Leguizamo vehicle. I call it a Jean Leguizamo vehicle.
You know
Is
what
he
a,
in the movie?
You know what a John Leguizamo vehicle is? An El Camino.
There you go.
John Leguizamo was weirdly in the TV series Waco, and I was like, what a weird person to choose for the comedic relief in a very serious show.
Yeah.
Weird.
And he played an FBI agent who like somehow works his way into the cult and like starts to feel for them.
Dan loves Waco.
No, I got a
Listen,
bad phase of liking cults, and it got
Yeah.
way too serious.
No,
He
that's
went to
fine.
that. He
Like I actually went to Waco. I visited
that's
the
cool. I
compound.
like that.
I stood in the
I think
building
that's cool.
Alex Jones built with his hands on the
Yeah.
compound.
Insane.
Yeah, I'm still on watch lists and shit.
Yeah, we should go way north.
Comics to watch list?
No. Comics to watch, not be allowed to fly.
Yeah, the FBI's
comics to watch have to take Amtrak to their shows.
Comics watching black unmarked cars follow them out of a compound.
That's fun.
My favorite part was we traded
but-
merch.
But is there like
Sick.
a tour you can go on?
No, so one of the guys who was the drummer in Koresh's band was a fan of mine and like invited us to the let us hang out.
Dude, that's insane.
Yeah, we lit fires. It was
That's so much
Just keep
crazier.
throwing-
I
keep
thought it
throwing
was
these
like a thing
documents
you
in
could
that
go
fire.
to.
No.
Yeah, he gave me a CD that weirdly doesn't work, thankfully. Who knows what was on
we
there?
have to play it backwards.
Dude, you got to put it in the right drive, and then all of a
like
sudden
the
a
right
lot
drive, it
of
just
a
starts
lot of
saying Hillary
answers.
Clinton started the fire. Like, oh no.
Dude, we got to go up north in Idaho. We got to go to Ruby Ridge.
Maybe I'll do
We'll
an
go
album
there.
there. Yeah, we'll do the Ruby Ridge and the Waco. We'll do an album on all
Jesus
those
Christ.
locations.
A weird Jeff Ross kind of thing where
Yeah.
like, you go and do your comedy
We go
in bad
there.
places.
We go to the. What was
Comic
that up in
roasts
Ruby Ridge?
his morals.
We comics roast the Aryan Brotherhood. Or whatever has that compound up in Idaho.
Yeah. Man,
That
fuck
would.
those people.
I like the roast. What did he do? The roast in the jail.
He roasted in the jail, the roast at the wall.
The police officer.
I would
the
be
Boston
comfortable
PD.
roasting someone if, while I was making fun of them, someone was above them with a sniper on them.
Right.
I would say anything I wanted. Is
What
there
do
a
you-
product
what do
we
you
could
need?
help you with?
Oh, yeah, sorry.
What
No,
do you
no
need?
problem. Come on in.
Tomato sauce.
Yeah,
Grab
sure.
a mic.
Sauce,
Oh,
man.
yeah.
Which one?
No problem. I'll move out of the way.
Some Alfredo.
Oh, all right.
Oh,
You
little
know,
Alfredo.
Classic.
All
Classic. Classic.
We're throwing in two
Traditional.
Pairs
cans.
well with fettuccine.
Dude.
All right, thanks, guys.
No problem,
Yeah.
dude. You have a
Enjoy.
good day. What's your name?
I'm Jack.
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 All right.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
Jack. Hey,
Drop
this
in
is
by
Jack
Jack.
too.
We got two
No,
Jacks.
no relation.
for him.
No
Yeah.
relation.
Hey,
Jack,
listen, if we were
get
playing,
off.
if we were playing blackjack, that'd be a pretty good hand. You
All
know
right,
what I'm
two
saying?
Jacks.
Wow. I'm not a good gambler.
Good as in you mean you don't make a lot of money or you
No, I
have
don't
a
know the
problem
rules
doing
of
it?
any of the gambling.
Oh, okay.
I like gambling. That's
You
my.
do?
That's my. It's weird to say that it's my vice because it's not. But I just really like it when I do it. But I don't do it that
Yeah,
often.
that's good then. That's like having self-control.
Yeah.
I do not have that.
I like to gamble the bare minimum that still allows the waitress to walk over with free booze.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
what,
like whenever I see her, I'm like, oh look, I'm shoving in $1.
so what you got to
she's
do
like,
is
all right.
what I've done is you stay at a table long enough, and the minimum keeps raising, but you get grandfathered in at the low. So like I'll play roulette, and if you get there at like 4, it's like a $5 minimum, and then if you're there at like 6 or 7, it's like, oh, now it's a $20 minimum, but you've been here since whatever, so they give you like a special chip.
Yeah.
Right.
That basically denotes that you can put in a $5 minimum.
Right.
Interesting.
They're like, this guy's unbelievable. He's at the high rollers table, and he started out
I
with
like a
73
qu-
cents
Yeah.
I
at
like a
noon
quick
yesterday.
Give me a quick bet, like a coin toss. Give me like $100 in the NFL Super Bowl coin toss.
I love those,
Boom.
like the prop bets for the Super Bowl. I think those are so much more fun than betting on
Yeah.
the game.
The
I like-
only time I've one of the very few times I've gambled was last time I was in Vegas. I was with Bisping and
Yeah.
Lewis.
Oh wow.
And we were walking around Hard Rock, and you can tell people were
Well,
like,
you let Bisping drive. That was the first gamble.
yeah, first gamble. Jesus Christ. No, I think his wife drove.
Thank God.
We were walking to the roulette table, and people are like starting to notice that he's there, and we sit down, and I can't believe that people that know who he is are willing to shit talk him. It's like, you know what he's good at.
Like, be,
Oh,
like,
wait,
be
really?
rude to
Be
him.
rude to him. Multiple people were rude to him.
People think that
What were they
like,
saying though?
One person was just screaming out GSP, which he lost to GSP, which is like, okay, how? Yeah, you really got him.
Whoa.
because people think that they'll never get hit. They're like, oh, he has too much to lose to hit me, and
Yeah.
it's like,
He'll hit you.
he'll hit you.
Yeah, he's been drinking. He'll hit you.
Yeah, right.
I had like, it was a weird moment when we sit down at the table. So it's him and his amazing wife. She's so sweet, and myself and Ralph, who's one of the owners of Gas. And Ralph's enormous. He's not like
Yeah.
a fighter, but he's enormous. And we sit down, and then two guys join the table, and like are closer to the Bisbing, and they start talking like at him.
Yeah.
And I'm like looking at them weird, and I'm like, "Do you guys have a problem?" And they go, "No, we're fine. We're just talking." And I'm like, "Oh, you're a little
Drunk.
been drinking." And Bisping's kind of like telling me, he like literally go, "Fuck off." He's like literally going like, "Fuck
Yeah.
off," give him the finger. And they make a joke, and I just wedge myself. I'm standing, they're sitting. I'm not playing. I just wedge myself between them, because like, I don't want Bisping to go to jail for knocking
Yeah.
this idiot out. But like, it's just it was insane to
That
me
is
how many people
crazy.
were rude to him.
And that was in a casino?
That was at Hard Rock, yeah, in the casino.
Something
That's
about that air being pumped in there that people feel themselves,
Dude,
man.
it was
I
nuts.
think it's Vegas has an awful energy that
Dude,
I hate.
and especially because we were there for
Really? Go to
Ellis
AC.
Mania.
Oh yeah, well AC is sad, but
Just think the big song about Atlantic City was in the 80s about things dying.
Yeah.
Everything dies, baby, that's all right.
dude, the
Now AC's dead.
the saddest thing I've ever seen was an episode of Undercover Boss, and
Oh,
it
God.
was the Johnny Rockets episode.
Oh God.
And they
Oh,
go to the Johnny Rockets on the
Johnny
on the
Rockets,
boardwalk in AC. And the guy, because you know how they like interview one person that works there,
Yeah.
so they talk to this guy, and he's like, "Oh yeah, I love working at Johnny Rockets. I've been here for like 2 years. I used to actually live underneath the boardwalk after I got out of jail for trying to kill the man who raped my daughter." And you're like, "This is on
That's
ABC."
So many things to digest.
And you're just like, "Oh, cool, man. I hope
and
you
you're
have
like,
fun
I
at
asked
Johnny
if you had a
Rockets."
Butterfinger shake.
Yeah, yeah.
Jesus.
I remember Johnny Rockets because they used to. The coolest thing is when you order a shake at a restaurant and they bring it to you, then they come back a second time with the extra shake.
Metal cup.
But
I
they
love
also,
it.
yeah, remember they had the metal hold. They also, Johnny Rockets had a metal holder
Well, yeah.
that they put your glass in because they didn't trust you holding the glass
Yeah.
yourself.
They shouldn't.
Yeah.
I feel like that guy telling you that I went through so many emotional roller coasters while he was talking. It's like,
Yeah.
I used to live underneath the boardwalk. You're like, oh, well, after I came back from jail, you're like, oh no,
Yeah.
for killing a man. Oh no,
Yeah.
for trying to rape my daughter. You're like, I fucking love this guy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, because it's always the thing where they like
Under
they were
the
like standing
boardwalk.
on the boardwalk. He goes, "I actually used to live underneath." They always have like a weird
yeah.
thing where they have to talk to people.
Seems like a
outside.
good place to live. You know, you got sand and a roof.
Yeah, man, that's usually what I look for in an apartment is sand and a roof.
a lot of. Hey, how much sand is in this apartment?
Would you, if you had to guess?
Yeah.
How many
Cubic-
square footage?
cubic
of
feet.
Cubic feet of sand.
Yeah, just a
I
ballpark.
think
I'll settle.
sand in a house would be nice.
No, it'd be
It's
horrible.
insane that you think that.
No,
You're
there's
too
a,
high.
There's a reason for this. There's a reason for
but it
this.
sucks.
There's a new. There's an artistic reason for this that I'm sure.
Autistic reason?
That as
Feels
well.
good on my feet.
That's every reason for me is the little things of sand. No, the Beach Boys. I was watching a documentary. The lead singer, I thought it was insane when he wrote their best album. He wrote it because he had them drop off piles of sand in his living room. He put his piano on his sand and played the piano on the sand and wrote the entire album. Their biggest album ever. I think it's Sights and Sounds, some shit
Pet
like
Sounds.
that. Yeah, Pet Sounds.
Yeah, he was also going through a mental break at that point.
But how funny is that?
Combinate-
Though?
I mean-
he wrote an album just on sand in his house.
Which is weird because it's their least, like, all of their old shit is like Surfing USA and Surfing Safari, and this one is like, wouldn't it be nice
Yeah.
if we were married?
Jesus
And
Christ,
it's like,
yeah, you're like-
none of it is about surfing.
No, no.
But he's like, more sand.
Bring my wife back. Song.
Yeah.
Yeah, his wife's like, wouldn't it be nice if we moved the sand out of the
Yeah,
living
that's the
room?
re-
honey?
You'll never get rid of all of that. That's the worst
No,
part.
no.
I
you gotta
love a
move.
music documentary with a weird story. I love a weird story.
Yeah, I love finding out
I'll go-
people's weird shit.
I'll go to almost any documentary in the theater.
Oh, okay.
When we had Movie Pass, I would go and see every documentary that was
Yeah,
out.
man, I miss Movie Pass.
When we had Movie Pass,
Greatest summer of my life.
You say that out loud with this, with like it echoes happy moments in the past.
2018? What summer was that?
2017.
Wow, time flies when you don't do anything good.
I love a good documentary, though. It's
yeah,
good.
top
In the
favorite
movies,
documentary.
though,
Go.
I don't know.
1, 2, 3, go.
Comedian.
I like the Blackfish one, man. I like the
Blackfish?
sadness of it.
Yeah, Blackfish
Oh.
is good. Jack?
I like.
What's the question? Favorite
What
documentary?
the fuck, dude? I just said a bunch of things. Yeah, favorite documentary.
I really have watched Comedians so many
I
times.
watched Comedian a million times, yeah.
Comedian's great.
Jiro Dreams of Sushi is great.
I like a good Orny Adams sighting.
Yeah, man.
I love running. I remember I ran into him one night at the Cellar, and he was dressed like
he
the
barking?
poster boy of. He went on stage and he killed so hard that I felt like the drink on my table shaking.
Jesus Christ.
He has one of my favorite Conan sets. He ends the set just sitting defeated in front of Conan's desk. He's just like this in front, like
Why did he bomb?
he does like not bomb, but he does 7 minutes. He blows the light on Conan and just does this
Blowing
crazy
the
set.
light?
He throws the mic stand at a point, and he's not ever bombing hard enough to warrant the throwing of the mic stand. But it's just fun to see a comic not care on television.
Wow.
I like when he holds a shoe to his head and goes, now I'm funny because I have a shoe.
Now I got to shoot. Now I'm funny. I like when he pulls out the binder that says Asian jokes.
Yeah, it's fun. We can talk about. We should have a podcast about that documentary.
About Comedian. We watch Comedian once a week for
Yeah,
10 years.
Dude, I watch it all the
A
time.
podcast about Orny where you never bring on Orny.
Never.
Yeah, no,
Not
no.
a single
It's like
time.
an onion.
We bring
We get
Jerry.
George. We got Jerry. We get George. We get the waitress who's rude to Orny Adams in Montreal.
Yeah.
The
We get-
person
we
who wrote
get
the
Barry-
article.
Barry Katz.
Barry Katz. You get the guy who wrote the article in the paper about
Yeah, dude, we
him
get
that
everybody.
he brought on stage with him.
Yeah.
God, I feel
We
like
get the
they
guy
did
driving the
kind of
bus when he
narcissist.
finds out he's not allowed to say
Someone
whatever
told,
thing that instead of psoriasis.
Yeah.
someone told me they were like, oh, they cut it to make him look really bad. I'm like, I don't know if there was a way to cut it to make him not look crazy though.
No,
You know?
I
Yeah,
did
yeah.
hear that as well. That it was cut pretty poorly. Like there was one time I was going into a project that was being set up as a documentary, and like one of the producers was like, "You just got to make sure you don't get ornied." Like it was
Oh,
a term he was
yeah.
using.
All
Maybe
right.
it was just his own
Fair
term.
enough.
But
Editing
also,
can do
you
quite
he
a bit.
gave them all that stuff.
He did
Yeah,
say
like you
all
still
those
have
words.
to give them the shit that's being posted.
Yeah.
You still said it in that moment. You can't cut in words.
Sort of miserable
Yeah.
governors.
What
Dude.
was the word instead of what was the original joke before psoriasis?
Oh, lupus.
Yes.
Yeah. And they said they can't say lupus, and he's like, psoriasis. That's funny. Psoriasis.
I'll open my first late night set with a word I've never said.
That's
Which
what
is, if you're not a comedian, you realize how difficult and a big ask that is
Oh,
to pull a
for
new
sure.
word out of your ass into a joke that you've already kind of like
telling.
been telling.
toxic
well.
masculinity is a punchline of mine, and I can't say the word. I can't say masculinity.
Interesting.
Like L's are really tough for me when they're that close together with
Oh,
the
I
I. I
didn't-
get
yeah.
masculinity.
Nailed it, dude. That sounds totally natural.
When it's on stage, it don't sound like that.
Toxic.
Sounds
You,
really natural.
toxic. You know the thing with the guys.
toxic men thing.
Yeah, and it's like such a hard thing that if you can't get the term out to explain, you know, that thing that we have, but none of us know we have
Yeah,
until
yeah, yeah.
now.
I
But
have
it's
to
in
use
there.
some of this soon, by the way, whenever we wrap up. I don't know.
Do you
when
get-
You have to go poo-poo?
Oh,
You gotta
dude,
take a
no, I don't guess I
dookie?
just shake it. A little pee-pee.
Oh,
Okay.
pee-pee.
I got a little
I've,
pee-pee.
you know what? I am ashamed to admit this, but since I've taken up running again, I just get random pisses. Not like full pee in my pants. Like I'll get like a streak.
Or
you
like
know?
a pregnant woman, or like a
a-
woman who's
just
had a
shoot.
child.
Like I'll just be standing somewhere. I'm like, what was that twitch?
Yeah,
And
do
I'm like,
male
oh, wow.
Kegels.
Yeah, you gotta tighten up your shit, dude.
And I got bloody nipples now.
From running?
Yeah.
Stop running. Running sucks.
I got
No,
bloody
it's
nipples
so
too, but
fun.
I asked for them.
Yeah.
Nice
I go
big
put
guy.
big clamps on them and then yank
You know
them
how
down.
upset I was sitting on the couch with Band-Aids on my nipples? I was like, I thought this day would come, but I never thought it would be because of running.
Because
Yeah.
of,
I
yeah,
thought that
yeah.
someone just chomped away too hard at a nip, and
Some
I had to
horny
bandage
Adams.
it up.
Horny,
Yeah, now every
horny
morning I
Adams.
slap
That's
on a
my new
Band-Aid.
character. Now I
Everyone's
got.
like, yeah, we all knew that word. Like, we all got it.
Now I got a boner. Now I'm funny.
Horny Adams.
yeah, horny Adams.
That is such a great character.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
The binder of jokes is just the Karma Sutra.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Is that how you pronounce it? Karma Sutra?
Karma.
Kama Sutra.
Karma, I said.
Yeah.
Karma
That's a whole
Sutra.
different
Karma
thing.
Sutra, yeah.
Yeah, it's
That's
all
different thing.
That's
That's when you-
Sutra.
Arrest this man. He's gonna come. You should be edging.
Yeah.
I was gonna let it just keep
I don't know.
going.
Here's the thing. We're good at doing those fake songs, but I don't know enough song lyrics.
Yeah.
I
We're
know like
getting-
4 songs.
We're getting our theme song written right now, and I can't wait to hear what it
Oh, no
turns
shit.
out
Well, here
to.
it comes. Wait, what's your name? What the fuck is the podcast your name?
Wait, want to hear the funny, the cool, not funny, I think the dopest thing about the theme song? You know who's making our theme song?
Oh, yeah.
Bowling for Soup.
That's hilarious.
Yep. Bowling, and we sit between
Between
soup.
soup. Bowling for
I've
soup.
become very close friends with the lead singer, and he's making our theme song. At this
Cricket
point,
for
it'll
gravy.
literally be spliced in.
Yeah. That's
I'm just
crazy.
giving him shout outs on each episode
What's his
because
name?
I'm Jarrett Reddick. My favorite story ever is my buddy Michael tells a joke about it on stage.
Mine's
he breaks
Space
it down
Jam.
more. Space Jam?
That's my favorite story.
From start to finish.
Mine's the never ending.
No, it's like when those, Smash Mouth is doing a music festival. You ever saw that video?
No.
It was a food festival, and I guess one of the vendors had given out free bread.
Oh my god.
So they're on stage and like they're getting harassed immediately into the set to play All Star. They're screaming at the lead singer, "Play All Star!" Yeah, and he's saying, "No,
We're
I'm
gonna
not playing it
close
this
with
early."
Don't worry.
They start throwing the bread at him.
What kind of bread are we talking? Baguette?
I think like it looks like they're maybe
Focaccia?
scooping out the insides.
Oh, okay.
So they're making it a weapon. And then the best part of the video, my friend Michael Terry does a whole bit. Like I have to give him credit for the bit. He's the one who brought it up to me. But the funniest thing is he's having this meltdown on stage, not wanting to play the song. They're going to close with it. All the fans are cheering. The band behind him just starts slowly playing him into All Star.
Oh,
They
that's
just
funny.
play like the opening riffs to "Hey Now" until he just starts like,
Oh,
"Yeah, sure, I'll do
That's
it."
broken.
And
I
like-
can't believe someone would ask for that song.
Dude,
Yeah.
it's huge.
It's their
Jesus
biggest.
He's done that so many times.
Yeah, but I see I'm on this side. I didn't see you on this
Yeah.
side.
We
Okay.
always make the joke that we're the easiest people to rob in New York during this podcast.
Not me, motherfucker.
Not you, yeah. You turn around
Beat
and
somebody's ass.
you think you're going to hit them, then accidentally bump into our caution /
Yeah.
sign that warns people they're on camera.
have respect.
I was at in Albany. They have this thing called
When?
Tulip Fest every year, which is
Tulip
like
Fest?
Yeah, it's like their spring festival.
Yeah.
And one year they had Third Eye Blind play.
Nice.
Because they always have bands, and it was, dude, I fucking almost threw up from laughing, because the singer was wearing like one of those like all white linen outfits,
Yeah.
and they're playing whatever
Right.
dog shit song they have, and somebody just threw a fucking full can of beer,
Oh,
and it hit him
God.
right in the chest, and he was just like, "Fuck!" And I'm just like, I'm standing on the side like, like almost dying from laughing.
That's so horrible.
We
Yeah.
had
That's
in my
great.
town Manalapan Day where they would bring in like a band to play for the town. And
Why'd you do air quotes?
Because it would a band. We had Hootie and the Blowfish, sans Hootie.
Oh,
So we just
The
had
Blowfish?
the Blowfish.
You just had the fish?
We just had the Blowfish.
That's fucking
They just
great.
kept looking around like, "Where's Darius Rucker?"
I love how he gets mad that people think he's Hootie. It's like, yeah, most bands that do that kind of name are named after the
Yeah,
lead
I'm not
singer.
expecting the drummer's Hootie. You're
Yeah,
Hootie.
I'm the. It's me,
Oh,
the
Van
bass
Halen.
player.
Yeah.
I'm
No one in
Darius
Fleetwood Mac
Blowfish.
was like, "What?"
Yeah.
They're like, "Mick Fleetwood?" Well, I guess.
All right.
Yeah.
Jack, do you have anything else you would like to talk about
Yeah, Jack.
besides your Red Sox? I
And
like a
wearing
Red
all
Sox.
gray.
I didn't even realize.
Oh,
you
yeah.
just threw on
I
what
didn't
was
realize people
available.
call that a grout. I used to wear I liked a gray sweatpant and a gray shirt, and I had a girlfriend who said, "You're dressed in grout."
Grout
Oh.
fit.
A gray out. Yeah.
Gray outfit.
Okay.
Interesting. I don't hate it.
Yeah.
Jack,
Gout.
how old are you?
I got
What do you do
I got
for
nothing
work?
else.
You got nothing else?
I got
Jack, how
nothing
old are
else.
you?
I'm 24.
You ever been in a fist fight?
Can we do that after the show?
Yeah.
For
That was a
you.
challenge. I'm just curious.
No, I've never been in a fist fight.
Are you a comedian?
Huh?
Are you a comedian?
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know anything about you. So
Yeah.
I'm just curious. Where'd
Yeah,
you grow
I've
up?
I've been like asking someone on their podcast, "Are you a comedian?"
Well, it's hard to tell on a podcast. There's people that are funny that aren't
He was actually a
comedians.
customer who I was like, "We should do a podcast
That's
together."
No, I'm not offended. I will kill myself later though. But no, I've never been in a fist fight.
You have a good build. I'm saying you're
thank you.
tall and you have good wide shoulders. Were you a
Thank
swimmer?
you. No.
Lacrosse?
Just hot.
Nope.
Soccer?
Nope.
Hot guy?
Just a hot
Thank
guy.
you.
Yeah, just a hot guy.
Basketball and golf are my two.
You know those
sports.
people who
Golf.
never played anything because they didn't want to damage their body? They
Right.
just preserved it.
Yeah.
Well,
Yes.
would you have,
Yes.
so you teach. You teach. Well, I guess it'd be mixed martial arts then, right? Well, how do you feel about teaching me for free?
Poorly? Bad.
But that's not completely out of it, right? Did you hear that?
I teach segregated
Michael-
martial
yeah.
arts. I can't believe it's
That's
taken
funny.
me this many
It's,
years
never thought- yeah.
to make that joke.
Jesus Christ. It's right there the whole time. Okay. Yeah, Mike will teach you.
I'll teach you. I know.
By
You have,
osmosis.
yeah, secondhand.
I've taken
2.
2 lessons
Yeah.
from you.
2, that's it.
I can get you into a guillotine.
Okay.
But you don't think that
That's it. I can
so
take you
at,
down, but just because I wrestled.
I could get you
at
into
my
a
height,
too, but
I would
it will-
imagine it's like powerlifting, where being shorter is probably more beneficial,
No.
like
That's a
leverage wise.
Yeah.
Shit.
No. No, because if you have reach, you can keep people away with your
That's
strikes. And if every body type has positives and negatives.
Right.
What's the positive of my body type?
And you got a lot of potential fuel.
Thank you.
There's a positive.
Do you mean gas?
You can stay warm in the cage.
He's tired, everyone. Yeah.
so it's hard to grip you.
Yeah.
The other guy's sweating because you're exuding heat towards him.
Yeah. I mean,
There's
look at John Jones. Like, he just keeps people away with strikes, finds range. But it's like if you don't know how to use your body type, then it could be detrimental.
Yeah. So you're gonna teach me, deal.
Yeah, I'll teach you.
Perfect.
Man, I had this joke ready to go that's going to bomb now.
Oh,
Let's
do
hear it.
But he said I could get you into a guillotine, and then I was going to say I could get you into a guillotine too if you commit treason during the French Revolution.
There you go.
Yeah, I
That's
like
not
that.
bad.
That's
Dude,
good.
come
Got
on.
you into a guillotine.
History?
Yeah.
You fucking history bitch. Thank you so much, everyone, for listening to a Little Time
Little Time
Podcast. Be sure to rate,
That's how
review,
you
and
guys
subscribe.
end podcasts together.
Oh,
is
yeah,
you just
we
call
rush-
the host the bitch.
So wait,
Dude,
why don't we we'll do this like they do it on the Tonight Show when they do multiple takes for like different areas of the country.
Oh, yeah.
Well, you guys can just have this footage and everything. Say it was your podcast. We'll do the same. So
Beautiful.
why don't you do your outro real quick and then we'll do ours.
Follow me at this Diego Lopez.
I'm at Mike Abrusci.
Email the podcast at alittletime@gmail.com.
AlittleTimePod@gmail.com.
Littletime@gmail.com.
At a
Fuck,
little
we don't
time
have
on
an
all
email yet.
social
You can't
media.
bury us like that.
no, it's fine.
we
It's
do.
their show.
And
Rate, review, and subscribe. The
Yeah.
reviews mean so much.
It's
crazy how much
5
it
stars
means.
only.
And thanks for having us, guys. This was
Yeah,
great.
it was a pleasure for
We'd
coming
love to
on.
have you at My
Yeah.
Father's Deli.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
You want me to
now,
kiss on the lips
thanks
now?
guys
Oh, yeah,
for listening to In the Aisle. I'm Jack, and you can. Well, why don't you guys tell us where you can where we can follow you?
I'm at Mike Abrusci on all social media.
And this Diego Lopez.
Oh, I thought they already did this.
No, that was for theirs.
Oh,
We're
gonna
giving
keep-
them the footage so they can use it for their episode.
Oh, okay.
People love watching our podcast.
Yeah, people know that something about a deli, the aesthetic. Everyone wants to subscribe.
Oh,
and like.
yeah, man. Their eyes
Psych.
catch.
I do think this is a cool idea.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you.
I think it's
Oh,
very
thank
cool.
you.
I
Thank
love
you
you
for
boys.
having us on and complimenting us.
Yeah,
And
of
thanks
course.
for being on our show as
Oh,
well.
yeah,
of
thanks for
course.
joining
Thank you
us
for
in the
having us.
aisle. Bye, guys.
Bye.
Bye.
We'll take this for the children.
We hope you laughed and you didn't cry. We hope you enjoyed your turkey on rye. But for now, goodbye from Dan